1, baby.
All right. Hi. Welcome to Talk Comics to Me. This is Talk Comics to Me time.
It's May 1st today.
It is. So happy International Workers' Day. Happy May Day. If you have a boss, tell them. Yeah.
Suck it.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Tell them to pay you more money because you all deserve it. Mm-hmm. Anything else, Heather? What else?
I had like a whole list of things, but I honestly can't remember. Just like a hey, pay attention to this, guys. Free Comic Book Day is this weekend. It is Saturday. It's the 7th. So mark that down in your calendars and go to your local comic shop and hang out for like 5 minutes if it's a big enough building. If it's not big enough, get in, get out.
Yeah, you get a bunch of comics, spend money there, get your free comics, and
yeah, there's some decent ones this year, some that I'm pretty excited in. So yeah,
some bangers, as the kids say.
Some bing bangers, yeah.
Bing bangers.
So, yeah, that was all I had for now. Just wanted to put that in your little brain so that seed will grow. I'm Heather, by the way.
And I'm Champ. I don't know if I said that. I don't know what's going on today. Go ahead. Heather,
okay.
You start us off.
I'm going to start, and this is what I'm going to talk about. This is Knights of X. This is issue number 1. I was going to say Knights of 10, but because I thought it would be funny, but I'm going
to lock Megatron in
okay.
a room. But yes, Knights of 10, it would have been funny.
Knights of 10 is what we're going to call it. Champ is gone for a moment. They're going to lock their dog into a very small closet right now. I'm kidding, a normal size room. It's fine. But yeah, this is Knights of X. It's issue number 1. This is pretty much just a continuance. Well, I don't want to say continuance. It's a whole other addition to the Excalibur series that was a whole thing within the new X run. But basically, the other world has been cut off from Krakoa and stuff, so the mutants that are currently within Otherworld cannot return to Krakoa, and they are being hunted down and killed. So Betsy is going around trying to save them so they obviously don't get killed. But there's some other moving pieces within this, and she has to get Excalibur back together. But, the problem is with being in the other world, if you die there, when you come back, you are not the same.
Oh, yeah.
So they are all on this mission together, knowing the consequences of, like, if they happen to die doing this, it's just what it is. And it's pretty much the same team that was in Excalibur. The only difference is Shatterstar is in here. And someone else. Megan Braddock. Oh my god, is that wet or is that grease?
I don't know.
Whatever. And Bay the Blood Moon. Mm-hmm. Who, yes, agrees to go even though she does not want to leave her Doug. That's what she says. I don't want to leave my Doug. It's very cute. But yeah, I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit. I enjoyed Excalibur a lot because I liked the stuff that was going on in the other world. And this is heavily influenced by that and all the Arthurian tales and stuff, which I also very much enjoy. So yeah, for a first issue and kind of a continuance of Excalibur, I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked it way more than I thought I was going to. I was just going to get the first issue and kind of see how it went, but I'm going to continue reading it because it's a whole battle that's going on, and they're on their own little quest, which I thought was really cute.
Yeah,
so, yeah, Knights of X, issue number 1.
All right, I figured we could both do our X books in a row. So I have Sabretooth. This is issue number 3, a weird book that I never thought I would like, but here we are, and I really, really love this book. So this just kind of continues I can't even remember if I talked about what happens in the first and second issues.
Yeah, I don't think we actually did anything for it.
So basically, this just follows Sabretooth as he's in the pit. Basically, he's been able to make his own little hell. Other people get thrown into the pit as well for breaking rules like kind of in the smallest types of way. And all of them are just like pretty young kids. So Sabretooth tells them and convinces them they can kind of manifest on Krakoa as like vines and like microplastics and just like different things.
Okay.
So that was a really cool aspect. So he convinces them to go to Krakoa and he wants them to talk to specific people. That's not what they do, but he also knew that was gonna probably be the case. So all of these characters kind of talk to the people who don't matter in Krakoa. And, you know, the whole idea of Krakoa and the island is that everybody matters, every mutant's important. But in reality, just like most things, like there are people who just go by the wayside and they don't matter. So these people are kind of like, the young kids are going out in these manifested forms and telling people about the pit and like what's going on, and they're spreading the word about like this thing
like that's happening in
to try
exile or
to
whatever.
try and kind of help them escape.
Okay.
So it's like a really interesting idea. There's also a lot of other things going on because one of the characters, I wish I could remember all their names, but there are like 5 different people plus Sabretooth.
Yeah.
But one of the young kids kind of knows what's going on and is trying to take Sabretooth on. But we'll see. It's really interesting. I really like the way this story is put together. Like I said, I just never in my life thought that I would enjoy a book about Sabretooth. But this is just so much more than that. And it's saying a lot without, I guess, being heavy-handed in it. If somebody just wants to read a fucking comic book, they can. But there are like just a lot of deeper things within the book that I think are really meaningful and just really interesting to look at, because I think for myself, even like I believe in prison abolishment, and I'm watching like the worst fucking dude try to escape prison, and I'm trying to like wish that there was better for him, but they also just threw him into a fucking pit with nothing but his own goddamn brain and nothing else. So like, what else do you expect to happen? Like, what do you expect to happen if you just are putting somebody in a goddamn cage and not giving them any help? Like, nothing's gonna fucking happen except for they're going to create their own hell. They're gonna become worse people, and when other people get around them, they're gonna also create that for them.
I think that's the part that like blows my mind about them exiling him. Like, his form of punishment is they didn't even give him any other options. Like, they didn't try to help him. They just like brushed him aside because they didn't want to deal with him anymore, which I know is the case for like a lot of people in real life.
Yeah, and that's like the interesting thing about them also doing it, you know, exiling other people. It's like
the punishment does not fit the crime like, at all. Like, they're essentially children.
Yeah, so it's saying a lot, but that's all I will say about that at this point, because otherwise I'll go on for a very long period of time.
That's good. I read the first 2 issues. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So that's just a nice, I don't want to say nice, but it's a good series to pick up. It's only going to be, what, 5 issues?
Yeah, I believe that's the case. Yeah, no, it's not one to sleep on or just grab the trade when it's over.
If you want the inner machinations of how terrible the punishment is on Krakoa and how bad Xavier and Magneto are without having to read books about them, I think it's very good. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so next we have Step by Bloody Step. This is issue number 2, 3?
3. Yes.
3.
3.
Yeah, I really love this cover. I wish this.
That's a really good one. I really like this one.
Yeah,
I mean, the art, the covers.
Yeah, everything is so good about this. And this issue was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in this one, but the story is about a girl who kind of wakes up with no memory, and she's been traveling with a
robot protector.
Yeah, a giant who, you know, is the only thing that she has known since waking up. So obviously, as a young kid growing, which you see her grow throughout this series, she is curious and wants to see other people like her. And in this issue, she gets to experience it completely without the giant by her side, who the giant has been protecting her and keeping her alive and would die to keep this girl safe. So
yeah, it's a really good story, especially with no real words being said to you. And you kind of just interpreting it all through the art alone. Every issue has been really great. It's been really interesting to to watch it. I guess, yeah, watch it and like have it kind of flow through your brain and get what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. This issue did really bum me out, though.
Yeah, it really bummed me out, too, because I mean, obviously it's a sad story, and you know that it's not, I mean, you don't know, but it's going to have its ups and downs, but this one was very much a down, and I feel like there was a very much two sides of it, too, because since she's experiencing all of this for the first time, like, she's excited, and she's, like, happy to see it and be with other people that are like her, and just... there's a lot that goes down.
Yeah.
So, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, definitely suggest it. Okay, so this is Bloodstained Teeth. This is issue number 1. I almost said issue number 3.
I almost said 2.
Like, this is the first one.
This is the very first one.
Never read this book before in our lives. I really, really liked this. I liked the art and the colors a fucking ton.
Yeah.
So I guess this is a book written by Christian Ward. Patrick Reynolds does the art, and then Heather Moore does the colors, and it's so good.
It's a vampire story.
It's a vampire story. I don't even care what's in there. I just want to look at the art.
Yeah.
But yeah, just basically a dude makes too many vampires, and the people of the vampire world are like, bro,
the council.
You gotta stop. And you gotta kill these dudes now.
Yeah, you're making way too many children, and it's not fair for the rest of us.
Or as they call them in this book, sips, or as I called them, simps.
Oh, I thought I was like sups.
I just kept going Sims, so like the book was very weird in my brain.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'll have to read it again as Sims.
Yeah, I think it's best that way.
I mean,
not the actual words, but in my way.
I'll just find every page that says sips on it and say Simps. Simps.
Just do it out loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really liked the flow of the book itself. I don't know what I was
to show the art for anyone who wanted to see.
It was really expecting, but I don't know. I feel like I am also have read a ton of vampire stories, so I was kind of not necessarily thrilled.
I think like I was thinking about this while I was reading it. Like I read a lot of vampire things, like comics and books, and I absorb a lot of vampire media. And I think I don't think I'll ever be tired of vampires. Like there are certain tropes within vampire stories and stuff that I get tired of, but for the most part, I just enjoy reading about vampires. But this one in particular was just a really interesting take on it. Yeah,
I think because it just also had like a kind of fun dynamic to it. Like, I guess campy would be a good way to describe it without being like, it's still not necessarily the best, but...
Right, it's just, No, it was a lot of fun to read, and it was a new take.
Yes, it was different. It was different than like a lot of vampire, more fun.
And the dynamic between like the main character and his driver, we'll just say that. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and I'm just very excited. How many issues is it going to be? I don't remember. Probably like 5 or 6. We'll just say that.
I straight up added it.
Yeah, I did too. I
didn't pay attention.
Didn't even think about it, but okay. This is The Fourth Man. This is issue number 4. This is about 2 detectives who are trying to solve the mystery of 4 people who were murdered on the same day. This is obviously, it's the conclusion, but it's very open-ended. In this one,
so they're gonna have a 5th man, maybe a 6th.
But the way that it ends is like really cool because it doesn't say, like a lot of books at the end says like the end or to be continued, or it doesn't say anything. It just like I love the way that it ends because I was expecting like the next page to have something, and I was like, what? So in this one, you as the reader discover who the killer is, and you see the story coming together. All the pieces are like making sense now, and then within the pages where the detectives are, you see the killer like showing up randomly, and it like
cool.
It's done in a really cool way, and I think for 4 issues and like how quick each one went, like it was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it because since you get to see it happening, and as the detectives are discussing it, as they're like slowly getting to the conclusion and knowing who it is, it's just a lot of fun. And like it's the last few pages that really do it for me, because it's like, you guys are almost there, you're almost there, you're so close. So yes, I will leave this one for you to read, because I think you'll enjoy the way that this one ends, or not ends. We'll never know.
Yeah, and then I can read the third and last one together.
Yeah. And I feel like it would make more sense doing it like that too, because this one kind of starts at the beginning of the whole series, but it gives you like who it is and like what's happening. Yeah, and then the whole story comes together. So cool.
All right, sounds like fun. Okay, so this is Ghost Cage. This is issue number 2. This is a book by Nick Dragata and Caleb Gollinger. This is just a weird little book
It's just a weird little book
about a robot named Sam and a hard worker named Doyle who's being exploited by her company to help Sam win. I can't decide. Sometimes I'm a little confused when I'm reading this. I'm gonna have to probably reread it. But she basically she gives this robot emotions, which they're not, like, the head of the company is not pleased with. And then some stuff's revealed. I don't know, it's a lot of fun. This book is a lot of fun. The art's really, really great. It's a super dense book, and it's also just kind of weird.
Like dense as in like really wordy, or is there just like a lot of information?
I mean, it's a thicker book, and there are a lot of words. Like this.
Okay.
So there's like a lot going on, and there's a lot to see. So there's, it's worth the read, and I think it's just an interesting idea without going too much into it. But basically, corporation's bad.
Yeah. I've definitely heard that from a few people I know who are reading that, where they're like, it's actually a lot of good. Like it's fun. It's like interesting.
Yeah, there's just like a lot going on.
Yeah. Are you drinking coffee? Nice. Okay, so next we have, this is Dark Knights of Steel. Let me show you this B cover here. It's cute. Yeah.
This is probably my least favorite B cover of all the B covers.
Yes, no, I agree. It's not bad, but it's like the other ones were just so exciting. Like I liked seeing the DC characters in their like medieval getup. Like, it's just not as fun.
I was saying, it lacks like the. I don't know.
13th century pizzazz.
Yeah. The umps the other ones had.
No, I definitely agree. I like the colors a lot on it, but yeah, the reason I got the B covers was because I thought they were just so interesting.
So anyway, this just continues our story of medieval Superman worlds. Some people are going to go to war. This is basically just the build up to war. It's
going to happen. Sides are being crossed.
Yeah. It is. It's one of those things where it's interesting because I'm curious, because Batman is dead. And Superman is trying to stop this war from happening because he's like, my sister didn't do this.
Yeah, that confused me for a minute. But yeah, there's
something afoot in this world.
There's magic.
What it is, we are not quite sure yet.
Yeah.
And that's the book.
I really did. Well, okay, so while this was one of my least favorite covers of the series, I think this was one of my favorite issues in general. I thought it was a lot of fun, since I've been saying that a lot. It's a lot of fun.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I liked the beginning, the whole conversation between Tim and Constantine. I thought that was fun.
That wasn't a fun conversation. That's not a way to describe
that. It wasn't. But I just really like the way, I know I say this about the art in this series all the time. I like the way that each of the characters is drawn. It's, I don't know, beautiful. It's very beautiful. It's very good. Okay.
All right. So next we have Batman. This is Detective Comics. This is issue 1059.
Wow, we've been reading this for 1,059
Yeah,
issues.
we've really been going at it.
Damn, dude.
So we start a new first half of the book. It's called The Seven. It's written by Mariko Tamaki and Nadia Shamas, and then Ivan Reyes does the art, and then Danny Mickey does the colors. Or inks, sorry, and Brad Anderson does the colors. But yeah, this is, I don't know, this is a fun little start to a story, basically, a fun little Riddler story.
Yeah, there's a lot of regular-ass people who are committing crimes and stuff, but not trying to hide why they're doing it, and just turning themselves in, like, immediately. But Deb's daughter is a part of this in some way. We don't quite know how yet, but it's Batman doing his good old detective work.
It just felt like a better version of the Batman movie.
Yeah.
When I was reading this, I was like, oh, the Batman movie is kind of like this, but isn't as good. Like, this is way better than the Batman movie.
Okay, so...
and then the second part is Gotham Girl story. Go ahead.
So I will need you to cut this out when you post it, because I'm going to be talking shit on some dude. I don't know who he is, but he came in. Here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I have Hotel.
I'm gonna stir this soup while you talk about
Hotel. This is volume 2. It's issue 5 of 5. It's obviously the last one of volume 2. In this, you get kind of a grouping. You get all of, what am I trying to think? A cumulation? Is that the right word? Coagulation of all of, yes, of all the previous characters that were in this volume, so volume 2 again. You get all of them kind of together, and there's like a group of highway bandits. I don't know what else to call them. They come across the hotel and they're trying to take over. So they pretty much put everyone in a room. They start like beating people. They're being assholes. The owner of the hotel, who is the narrator, who has been in both series so far, he is trying to explain to them, like, you can't do this. Like, you can do whatever you want to these people, but you can't hurt me because I'm the only one that the hotel can, like, communicate with. And if you take me out of the picture, there's no stopping this thing. Mm-hmm. The guys were like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, bad things happen to them. But then the hotel decides to release one of the people that had been prisoner within the hotel and stuff. But the only downside to that is he cannot tell anyone about his experiences. He just has to go. He can't look back. So yeah, it's like, I really liked how this concluded, because there's no happy ending for anyone in this except for the person who runs the hotel, because he's just been doing this for so long that he's like, all right, another day in the office, and then just goes. But yeah, I thought it was fantastic. It's so weird and like kind of gross, but yeah, Pierrot, the clown, leaves no survivors. I don't think I will, like, if there is like a volume 3 for whatever reason, I don't think I'll get it, just because I got what I wanted out of this, and if they keep like rehashing the same kinds of stories, I just don't feel like it would be the same.
Really worth it.
Right. I think, like, obviously you can read volume 1 and get what you want from it and you're done. I hopped in volume 2, got what I wanted from it, and it'll be done. I don't think it's necessary to continue reading it every time it comes out.
Right.
But that being said, I did enjoy it quite a bit for 5 issues, like an anthology essentially. It was fun. It was very nice.
All right. I have the Punisher next. This is issue number 2. I'm going to get issue number 3, but this book is just really silly. Mm-hmm.
In what way?
Have you read this?
No, I got issue number 1 late, and I actually just discovered it again in my pile when I was bagging and boarding my comics.
Okay, so I'm going to say spoilers. So if anybody cares about this issue of Punisher or this series and doesn't want this issue spoiled, please stop listening. He meets, like, he's like becoming, like, he's the head of the Hand, basically, in this book.
The head of the Hand.
Yes.
I love that.
And at this point, he's basically becoming a god. So he gets the eye of the beast and is able to like
really cool.
defeat all of these, or defeat this guy. And then, you know, she's like, which of these items is yours? Because, you know, he is the god.
Yeah.
And then he is escorted and meets the god.
What?
Yes. So this is the altar of the beast, and this is the god. And then my favorite part is you find out like the bad guy, and it's Ares.
Jesus Christ.
So there's just like a lot going on. That's why I was like, I'm gonna get the third issue. I can't help myself because this is just like,
you gotta know.
I gotta know. It's funny to me that his wife is back, and she's like, she's kind of she's very weird because obviously she has been dead for a very long time, brought back to life, and she's like asking Frank like about when the kids are gonna come back and stuff, and she's like, please don't bring your kids back from the dead. Like this is, it's like some weird Pet Cemetery shit in my brain where I'm just like, this you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying. That seems wild. Now I have to read it.
But yeah, so the second issue is just like, it is one of those things where it feels very silly to me, and I don't know if it is silly or if I just can't take that seriously whatsoever. Because it's just like, okay, I guess I can take Frank Castle being like the head of the hand, but basically it's one of those things where like this priestess has been like recruiting him since he was like a child. Like she's known that like he has the power of the beast or whatever. So, like, there's this scene where she, like, tries to do the, like, knife thing, like, which one of these is your situation, like, when he's a kid, and basically tells her to fuck off, and then, like...
Oh, because he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's just...
Weird.
A little spoiler. They're a little spoiler, a little silly. Just, like, I don't know how to take it.
Okay.
I'm going to quickly talk about this book that Heather could never read.
They won't give me my copy.
It's called The Last Session. It's issue number 5. It's just about a group of friends who were finishing up a long-time campaign that they've been running.
Is this the last issue?
This is the last issue. So some friend drama ensues, and then this just wraps up in a nice little bow, and I really liked it. It was a really fun series.
Okay. Well, I'll get to it one day.
I was like, yeah, hopefully you get your issues someday.
One day.
All right, so now we have Newburn. This is issue number 6. I am still behind.
Yeah, so I'm just going to give a brief thing. This is more of a history of the Newburn's partner.
Okay.
It just kind of goes back and forth and like how she ended up where she is right now. And then the little story in back, the little side story is that girl who is doing her own investigation on the death of her best friend because the cops are not doing a good enough job. I love this story.
Okay.
It's so good, and I think the thing that I like about it the most is she keeps going to the cops and giving them more information about stuff that she's discovered, and she's like, if you guys were doing your job, you would know all this, and they're not taking her seriously, so we love that.
Yeah. Eventually I'll catch up. I did catch up, and I just had one issue to read, and I can't find that issue, so it's fine. It's fine. I'll
get it one day.
I'll catch up. I did learn through Chip's newsletter recently that this was actually picked up for TV.
Oh.
So
I will only watch it if Chip is Newburn.
All right.
That's all.
Oh wait, you go.
I go, yes. Okay, I have Thor. This is issue number 24, but technically it's issue number 750, which is why it's a fat one today.
Do you think they'll give you another fat one for issue number 25?
Well, they're going to have to, because that's the whole banner war thing that's going on.
Oh, yeah, I fucking forgot about that.
That's when it starts, yeah. So, there is going to be a little bit of spoilers in here. I'm not going to go too into it, just because there's a lot that happens in here, but Odin dies, and this issue takes place over the course of Odin's funeral. Thor can finally see what's written in the Book of Kings, and so his Googly is him reading stories to the other mourners there, and so that's what the issue is it's just for for the most part, every writer who has written a Thor story doing their own like few pages for a story from the Book of Kings. There's a Beta Ray story in here. Like the art for it is just absolutely incredible. Love it. There is, and I feel like I have to mention this one just because of what it leads into. So there's a Loki story that takes place directly after Agent of Asgard, like his whole series from a few years ago. So you don't need to read it to know what's going on, but it would certainly help if you did, because it picks up directly where it left off, and this story is leading into the Defenders Beyond series that will be coming out soon. So it is a little like prelude to it. So if you were planning on reading that, you can read this one story and I think you'll be fine. But yeah, there's obviously more to Odin dying than what I've said, but I'm not going to get into it because it's a major spoiler. But this leads into the next quest that Thor has to go on to help his people. Okay. So yeah, that's it. I enjoyed it. A few people that I talked to were like, no, dude, that was fucking boring. And I was like, how was this boring? There was so much in here that you could read. Like, you could skip a story and it wouldn't matter because it's just him telling stories. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. It's probably my favorite issue of this entire series because the series in general has been boring to me. But I thought this one was fantastic. I loved it. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So then I have the British Paranormal Society. This is issue number 1. This is a book from the Hellboy universe. Just follows these couple scientists who are in this weird town trying to find their friend who had just disappeared. There are some spooky stones and some springtime rituals and some people in a town who don't really want to give up their secrets. So
oh shit.
Just a full-on story. Like I was telling Heather the other day, it kind of reminded me of Wicker Man, but I just think it's all of those like aspects of it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Nothing much to it. It's not like you have to know Hellboy or anything at all to read this. It's just...
I love those kind of stories where it's just like...
just technically takes place in that universe.
Yeah.
And they're characters who have been seen within Hellboy. I don't fucking know. I don't read that much Hellboy.
I know. Same. That's why I never picked them up, but I forget that you can read those series. It's just like, hey, this takes place in the... You don't need to know anything. It's just... You might see one of these characters again.
Yeah. It's fun.
All right.
So next we have Vermillion. This is issue number 1. And this is a book about stalking people and fucking them and killing them. Yeah,
it's very violent and, I mean, I would definitely say trigger warning.
Yeah, there's a lot of tits.
Yes. But yeah, no, that's basically what it is about, is a stalker who becomes violent. And there's not really anything to spoil because it kind of, that explains like the entire story without giving anything away. I did like this, oddly. It was a very strange story to read, and I don't know, I like that the horror twist, like at the very end, like what the fuck is going on type thing. I don't know if I liked it. I liked the art. I thought that was all very interesting. The story was just kind of like one of those stories. I think without sounding like an asshole, it very much seems like a book that's based off of fucking Slipknot song. Yes.
Like, no offense to literally anyone. But that's just how it kind of read to me. It's just like, it seems like a dude who is really into Harley Quinn.
It's so edgy. Yes, no.
I'm sorry to everybody. I know that is really fucking rude of me to say. I feel like an asshole. And please do not take offense. I just didn't know any other way to describe what I wanted to describe.
You said that and it, like, yes, understood 100%. Okay.
Let's go on to Saga.
Yes.
This is issue number 58. I don't know, man. It's just Saga.
It's just stuff happening.
I don't I literally don't know if I like this or not. Like, I'll keep reading. I'll give it after this story arc, because it is just like...
It just feels weird because...
They're building up the story, but it's just going so, like...
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't feel engaging at all. Like,
yes.
Before, when we were reading it, like, the first half of it, like, I always was excited because I'm like, oh, cool, like, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? And in this one, it just doesn't grab me like it used to. Like, I don't know if it's because, my favorite characters are not in here anymore, and so it just is, like, it just feels like it's dragging because I don't necessarily have a connection with anyone else.
Yeah.
Or if, like, nothing is happening.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really great way to describe it, is that, it is not engaging. It's just kind of a book that I'm reading. I'm just, like, hoping that I enjoy it, and I haven't so far, which is a bummer. Like, it even, like, ends on that cliffhanger where... I guess spoilers, where they're just
so cute.
Sending hitman after all of the people that Alana and Hazel have ever met. So it shows Petrichor and Goose, and I can't remember.
I can never remember his name.
Reporter's name. So it's just...
It's like it's trying so hard to, like, keep people interested in it like they were before, but I think, like...
And, like, I know I'll get an issue with Goose, too, and I don't know, I'll like it, but I also am also just kind of want to, like, no, I don't want it. Like, you can't give me a pity Goose. I won't take it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not as into it, I guess, as I was.
It doesn't feel like it used to.
I feel like they waited too long to bring it back, and now the interest has, like, dwindled. I've grown as a person.
And I think that really could be it, is that, the time between was a little too long, and, being so excited for it for so long, maybe you just, like, were too excited.
Yeah.
And that, like, memory of it didn't hold up to, like, those previous memories, so it doesn't hold the same weight. But it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know how other Saga fans feel. I do know how some Saga fans feel.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell. I think a lot of people don't really talk about it. I guess I'll have to listen to other people discuss it. But that's it. That's all we got.
We did it.
We got to go record another podcast now. And maybe eat some soup. So
yes, let's eat some soup.
We'll see you on the flip-flop. Thanks for listening as always. Go support your local comic book shops. Take care of your friends. Do good things. We love you.
Free Comic Book Day, May 7th. Okay, that's all.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.